quick look at a new version of the surron chain lock. So this is for the primary chain. As was discussed before, when this gets a lot of tension on it, the motor tends to rotate downward, which then tightens your chain. So it's very hard to keep a consistent tension on this. As you can see in the slide, the surface is very slick, and the retainer doesn't really have anything to hold. So on high-powered applications, especially with the primary chain, you get on it, the bottom side of the motor tends to slip down, thus tightening your chain and ruining your tension. So originally, I had designed these that would fit in here and would actually slip over the bolt to prevent that bolt from moving and becoming a different tension than what you had it. But people mentioned they wanted something with a little more adjustability on it. And although I don't have a perfect solution, I have a very good solution. So instead of doing this, I have these. So I'm going to upload on Thingiverse multiple versions of these in 0.1 inch increments from the very minimum travel all the way to the maximum travel. So you'll have to measure where you like yours. So let's say I put this in here like so, and that's where I like my tension. So if you go in here underneath, let's see if I can get it here. If you go underneath the bike, there's a bar here, which is part of your frame, and then over here is the bolt. On that, on a normal setup, will be this aluminum spacer. It'll be on there, on that bolt right here, and you'll measure the distance from the outside of the spacer down to this bar. So if the distance from here to here is 0.5 inches, then you would pick the one on Thingiverse that's listed as either 0.5 inch or maybe 0.45, whatever. I know I said 0.1 increments, but you'll pick the one that's the next level up for looser, and then lower, let's see, lower is looser, no, sorry, lower is tighter, and then bigger is looser. So like, for instance, it's a pain to put in, but it would have that round thing on the back side, so let me throw it back on. Alright, so when you look in here, you'll see your round spacer is here. You'll measure the distance from the bottom of the spacer to the top of this bar. That distance is the distance from here to here. So what you'll do is you'll figure it out. Let's say ours is 0.6. So I might go with a 0.65 to make it so that it's slightly looser than perfect, whatever. So over here, you'll remove your bolt, and out will come, you get this spacer and your little tensioner thing, which isn't really useful anymore. You'll take this, you'll figure out which one you want, which in my case is this middle one, and you put this in the middle like that. Now obviously these need to be printed in 100%. The forces on this is actually between here and here. So there's no force on here, and there's no force on this. This is simply to hold this. The force is right here, which is a compressive force. So let me put this on real quick. Alright, so as you can see, I've got it in there now. Take a look at it. You can see it holds that from going down. Now you can see it's empty down here. So now we need to put in this little retainer piece. So let me slap that on real quick. And there you go. It's bolted on. So like I said, this ring here keeps this from falling off. And then it's hooked up there. This is where all the force is. And right now, chain tension would be there. So in this case, that one's actually too long. So what I would need to do is pick a shorter one, which in that case I would go back to a shorter one with like this, so that you can see the distance differences. It's like that. Makes that hole shorter. This is the same down here, but the top side is shorter. So in my case, it's too long, so I need a shorter distance to make my chain tighter, which would then bring this bolt down. But they're very simple to print. I have a fast printer, so I can print one in like 12 minutes, 14 minutes. The cap itself has this slight overhang here. You print these flat, like this face here down. There's a slight overhang there, so I'd recommend like a 0.15 millimeter layer height, 100% infill, and that'll do it. The motor can't move anymore. No more up, no more down. And obviously if the chain tension, let's say the chain grows a little bit or whatever, just print the next size down, swap it over. Doesn't take that long. You only need one on this side because that's where all the force is. But it's a good solution for now.